Okay, first of all, I think you have posted a picture of you up there. Where is it? Let's see if we can find you. Where?
This is I.
Ah, that is you with your child.
Zoom in, nephew.
I zoomed in.
Your nephew.
Yeah, and those are all of our shadows there who are seated, some of whom we'll put in. So why don't you begin with your story now?
Okay. For those of you who know, which I hope all of you do, last night was the last game played in Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium is arguably the greatest and most historic sports arena in history. So I felt to bring out my point that I want to speak about, I'm going to bring up two of the greatest Yankees of all time, in my mind at least. Babe Ruth once said that every strike brings me closer to the next home run. And Yogi Berra, on a more comical note, said, you give it all you got, you give it 100% in the first half of the game. If that's not good enough, in the second half you give it what else you have left. Now, why am I bringing up these points? What's going on? What I want to tell you is that if you don't persevere, and when something negative happens to you, you don't just give up, you're not going to accomplish anything great in life. So you have to persevere. That's what's important. So I'd like to present a tale of two frogs. There were two frogs living on a pond in a farm. They were both sisters, actually. And the younger frog was, always, doing adventurous stuff, hopping all over the place, discovering new stuff, grabbing all the flies she possibly can. While the older sister was more lazy and, she would only eat when a fly came to her. Sitting on her lily pad, wouldn't move. The younger frog discovered when it was hot outside, she went and hopped inside the farm. There were even more flies there, fantastic, while the older frog just starved and slept, didn't eat. One day, the younger frog finally got the courage to convince her older sister that maybe you should take an adventure. Maybe you'll find something that you like and you won't just sit on your lily pad anymore. So the older frog finally agreed, and they hopped and hopped and hopped. And they came across a bucket. And they hopped up to the top of the bucket, and they found it was full of this white substance, not water, maybe a little thicker than that. They hopped in, and they were having a good time, splashing each other and whatnot. And then they decided, okay, it's time to go back to our lily pad. And they tried to get out, but it was the liquid was way too thick and slippery for them to grasp onto the bucket to get out. The old frog just sat down and said, okay, that's it, I'm drowning, this is the end of my life, I'm just going to go to sleep and probably never wake up. While the younger frog persevered and was splashing and splishing and splashing until the younger frog realized that 1 second, this liquid has now turned into creamy butter. Oh wow, and with much perseverance, finally, the younger frog rolled the butter. It became so thick that it just broke the bucket open, and they both survived. And the older frog said to the younger frog, you know something? If not for your perseverance, and if not for you splishing and splashing and turning the liquid into butter and cracking the jug open, we would both have been dead. So you see that this does pay off. So therefore, going back to what Babe Ruth and what Yogi Berra said about, let me just say again, Babe Ruth, every strike brings me closer to the next home run. And what Yogi Berra said, you got to give it your all, basically. You see that these people obviously accomplished a huge amount. These are, great people. People look up to them. They're fantastic. So you see what you can learn from these people. That they're saying that what they got, Babe Ruth, the home run king, and Yogi Berra would forever be an all-star. They didn't accomplish it by just, one day deciding, I'm going to play baseball, and they picked up a bat and ball, and that was it. They were great. They worked and worked and worked. In fact, someone just told me yesterday when I was watching the game that Joe DiMaggio also, he had two other brothers that played in the game. And he was quoted once saying, I'm not sure the exact quote, but a similar idea of the only people ask, how could three brothers all make it to the big leagues? That's like unheard of. Three brothers, both, there were only three boys in the family, they all made it to the big leagues. And he said, the only reason why we made it is because we each helped each other out. And every second we spent practicing. Now, I'm not saying to focus your life on, one accomplishment and just, that should take over your life, but you see the idea of persevering, and you can accomplish great things by doing that. Thank you.